each day that you are able to join me, whether it's live or whether it's at some point during the day. I hope that these devotionals are a help to you. Tomorrow I'm going to start just a daily rest of the week into Monday, maybe even Tuesday, of why we vote biblically. And just to review some of the thoughts that I've shared with on some Sunday mornings, as well as just some Bible thoughts as leading up to what I believe is going to be the most important election in our lifetime. And at least to date, America is at a precipice. It's at a point where it's either going to go one way or the other. We're going to end up socialistic and dictatorship with a very, very liberal agenda, or we're going to hold to our conservative positions and to our Constitution. And so the most important thing is to vote biblically and let God sort it all out. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But I want to finish up Proverbs chapter 31 as we do a part 2 to the virtuous woman. And so I'll finish reading starting in verse 16. She considereth a field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hand she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor, yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry, her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gate when he sitteth amongst the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gate. The idea of the virtuous woman here in this last passage is really talking about her work ethic. It talks about her integrity. It talks about her grace. It talks about her generosity. It talks about the fact that she does not live life for herself. And so Proverbs, as it has been teaching us, that there's really two options on the shelf: pleasing God or pleasing self. The path of wisdom is a path that pleases God. It's a path that conforms to the character of Christ. Selfishness has all kinds of options, and it deceives us. It gets us off track. Selfishness also has a consequence. It hurts when it's done. It's deceptive. It never produces what it promises. And so we have all of these things vying for our attention. We have all these things vying for our time and our consideration. But God wants us to stay on the path of wisdom. He wants us to honor him and be conformed to his image, do the will of God, and walk the path of wisdom. Well, really, the virtuous woman is a model of how a woman walks that path of wisdom. It really is an outline demonstration where it's laid out what a virtuous woman, a woman of moral excellence, this is how she conducts herself. This is the type of woman she is. This is the type of mom she is. This is the type of wife she is. And not only do her husband and her children bless her, not only do her children and her husband praise her, but God blesses her. and God praises her. And that's really what it is all about. And so, as we culminate and we look at all of these things that describe her ingenuity and her industry, her creativity, all of these things that show that she's not idle, she's not a time waster, she's not somebody that sits around and waits for other people to wait on her. She is looking for opportunities to be industrious. She is looking for things that she can invent, things that she can create, but all of it has an intention. She does what she does intentionally, whether it is to care for keeping her children and her household warm, whether it is to keep her children and her household fed, whether it is looking long term and creating sources of income that can continue to provide in certain ways for the home, whether it is an inner strength and a fueling of the inner person and making sure that she is drawing her strength from the Lord and that she is a person of character. That's that inner strength, that's that inner beauty that comes out and is so admirable. And so I guess the challenge is basically the same as it has been over and over and over again. And that is, are we willing to let God change us from the inside out, literally transform the way we think, transform the way we live, transform our priorities, create a foundation for the principles, for the decisions that we make, so that we will walk the path of wisdom and not get distracted by all the options of selfishness, all of the options of the world, but ultimately the options that are the devil's trap, that all have consequences. Stay on the path of wisdom. When we stand before God and we give an account of our life, we will be glad that we walk the path of wisdom. And so as you review Proverbs now and again, I hope that these chats will come to light and these verses will make more sense and that you will understand better how to walk the path of wisdom. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we start a new series on ramping up towards election and voting biblically. I hope to see you tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye-bye.